There are some who would have you believe that the way the youths behave today is quite questionable, and it suggests that they have gone astray. Now, I'm not defending that, but I'm also remembering a time when I was a child that the youth in my time, who were the bigger boys, had similar behaviors, you know. They might not have been wounding and killing each other the way it is done now, but they were gangs. I remember in the community of Calibishie, there were bigger men, and those men would walk around with their ratchets. The ratchet was a sort of knife that opened up after you flick it, yellow and black. Almost each of these boys would have had a ratchet, or a JABÈT, or something called a bull pistol. The bull pistol was the phallus of a bull. When it was slaughtered and cleaned, they took the phallus, and the phallus was stretched. So they tied it to like the rafter of a house or some tree, and they put a heavy weight, most times a stone, at the end, tie it with a rope, and let the bull's penis stretch and leave it hanging for a couple of weeks, I guess, until it gets very hard and dried. And that bull pistol would then be used as a weapon, or as a device, a whip, not to beat children, but to fight off people if they had to. Now, I'm not too sure what names the gangs carried, but these guys were gang members, and they were fierce with their little bebop and their peculiar swag. They walk in with a particular swag, a bounce, a sort of variant. Every different group had a different swag. I can call the names of the guys who were in the different groups. They walk together with the little bebop, and man, they walk with a sort of bounce, vary, you know. No, the baddest one had the biggest swag and the most style. I experienced that in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. I would have to research to see exactly what was taking place at the time, but as a boy, the bigger boys in the community had their vibes. The JABÈT would have normally come from Guada. I think the ratchet too. You could buy them in Roseau as well. And the bull pistol. And people who did not have those also had chains, like a piece of chain, long chain. And they would put that chain down their pant legs, the bull pistol as well. And the knife, the JABÈT, would normally be lodged between their waist and the pants waist at the front, where you normally carry your gun now, the concealed weapon. Back in those days, I'm not too sure people had concealed weapons. I can't remember anybody having a concealed weapon. But these were the tools of the trade. And yes, people fought. I remember fist fighting being the order of the day. Had it been now where weapon is used to fight as a fighting tool, things might have been bloodier then, but the culture of fights was that you went out there and tough it out as a man, I guess. So the same attitude in terms of the behavior back then is the same attitude about the behavior now. Things did not get progressively worse, you know. I mean, there are more people, and there are, I guess, more crazy reasons to want to take somebody out now. But the same tenacity, the same sort of attitude existed then as does exist now. So sometimes we cry down the youths before first thinking that, boy, in my days as a youth, probably I might have done worse. Because people were angered easily as well. People were pinois, we call that pinois, or ignorant. And people would fight. There were fights, frequent, constant fights. Especially when guys were inebriated. But we'll speak about that and so much more on the next episode of Calibishie Chronicle.